You ever wake up and realize your life's about to get a whole lot messier than you planned? That was me. The day I rolled up in my battered old F-150, wheels crunching down on oyster shells and gravel, heart pounding louder than the surf, staring out at a wild tangle of marsh grass, a busted dock that looked like it had lost a fight with a hurricane, and this sad old fishing shack half hidden in the weeds, leaning just enough to let you know it was tired but not done yet. Yeah, this was my second act. 39, recently divorced, used to argue water rights and coastal regs for a living, but lately, I've been fighting for myself instead of somebody else. And for the first time in a long time, I was standing on land that felt like it was actually mine. Did I buy it sight unseen at a county auction for $28,000? You bet. All I'd seen were grainy black and white photos and a deed so old the ink was probably whale oil. But that deed, oh, it had teeth. Legal riparian rights, registered access to the waterline, written up back when men wore hats to breakfast and nobody called a swamp a wetlands restoration project. This place was a legacy, grandfathered in. Decades before the new money crowd in their pastel houses tried to pretend they owned the whole damn shoreline. The next morning, I had my crew on site, for contractors I'd worked with before. The kind of guys who smell like sawdust and coffee and don't care about HOA drama. We unloaded gear, staked out lines, and got busy pulling off what was left of the porch, shoring up the roof. Clearing brush. The goal? Stabilize the site. 3 days, in and out. We didn't even make it to noon. I'm down by the old dock, measuring for pilings, thinking about how to fix what rot and salt had chewed away, when I hear shouting up by the trucks. Sure enough, Balford County Sheriff's cruiser creeps onto my lot, lights off, but with the kind of energy that says, this is official business. Next to it stands a woman in white linen pants, sunglasses you know cost more than my last phone, and this pursed lip look that makes you want to check your fly, just in case you're the problem. She's got her arms folded so tight you'd think she's holding herself together out of spite. The deputy looks tired already. Sir, we got a call from the Coastal Vista Shores HOA about possible unpermitted construction on community-adjacent property. Adjacent, huh? I raise an eyebrow, already bracing for the show. Before I can get a word in, the woman steps forward. I'm Karen Levelvell. She says, like it's supposed to mean something, eyes slicing me up and down like I crawled out from under her porch. President of the HOA. This land borders our private beach zone. Your equipment and noise are disturbing our residents. I'm formally requesting you cease construction activities immediately. I actually had to bite my tongue not to laugh. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Ms. Levelvell, I say, digging my hand into my bag and pulling out the deed. This property isn't part of your HOA. Here's the paperwork, including boundary maps and the original 1943 access agreement. It's all recognized under federal law. The deputy starts thumbing through it, and Karen barely glances at the papers before rolling her eyes so hard it's a miracle. She didn't pass out. That agreement's ancient, she huffs. The community beach was established in 2012. Our residents pay for its upkeep. This, and she waves at the shack like it's some kind of crime scene, is infringing on our peaceful enjoyment. The deputy's still reading. You'll see, this parcel predates Coastal Vista Shores by 60 years. Not under your jurisdiction. That beach? Beyond the mean high tide line, public land, per state and federal law. You can't fence it, can't block access, can't even claim it. Karen starts to protest, but the deputy cuts her off. Ma'am, I'll take this to the office and check it out. No reason to stop work if everything's in order. She doesn't like that. Not one bit. She storms off, muttering about the county environmental office. My guys are snickering as her Lexus peels out. I just shrug. Rest of the day, we get back to work, but I notice binoculars peeking over the hedges. The HOA grapevine's alive and twitching. That night, I get an email from a clerk I know from my attorney days. Karen's filed a formal complaint, alleging threats to wetland ecology. No evidence, just big, dramatic words. By Friday, a stop work notice is taped to the backhoe, official seal, stern font, the works. All work suspended, pending investigation. My crew stands around awkward, waiting for a decision. I wave them off for the day, watching the sun drop gold across the bay, thinking about all the times I'd seen this kind of stunt. Phony environmental concern used as a political crowbar. 3 days later, I'm scrolling Facebook and there it is, Save Our Shores, a brand new community coalition. Slick logo, mission statement straight from a 4th grade science fair. Protect our fragile shoreline. Guess who's listed as founder? Yep, Karen Levelvell. She claims the group's unaffiliated with the HOA, but the donation form links to the same P.O. box and the same phone number. Their first post is a blurry photo of my backhoe. This is what coastal destruction looks like. I laugh, because you can't help it. It's so on the nose, it's practically a parody. But she isn't just playing for likes. She's calling the county commission, spamming citizen complaints, even gets quoted in the local newsletter. A selfish cash grab threatening access to nature. Meanwhile, the environmental office goes silent. My permit, which was previously green-lit, is suddenly under further consideration. Contractors start dropping out. First a text from Nate, the framing guy. Sorry man, HOA rep came by. Says there's legal trouble coming, gotta back out. Next day, concrete supplier has logistics issues. Then the lumberyard stops returning calls. I know what's happening. Karen's leaning on anyone she can, just enough threats to make honest folks spook and run. In a small coastal county, your rep is everything. People don't want trouble, especially not with the HOA. But then she gets sloppy, eh? New worker joins the crew late in the week, says he's from a local day labor pool. Big guy, quiet, but asks way too many questions about the dock and permits. I catch him snapping photos on his phone, so I invite him into the trailer, pour him coffee, and let him talk. He slips up on the name of the company he supposedly worked for. Wrong owner, wrong story. What he doesn't know is I've set up a recorder and motion cameras, because when you're fighting an HOA with a queen like Karen, you learn to play defense. Sure enough, next morning I catch him on tape, calling someone about erosion. Near the base, talking about 500 now, another 5 if I can delay the inspection. I send the clips to my lawyer, fire the guy on the spot, post trespass warnings on every post. Now I've got evidence. Karen's not just stirring trouble, she's playing dirty. But the pressure ramps up, sabotage, intimidation, late-night calls to contractors. Then one night, a new fencing contractor calls me, nervous as a cat. Did you send someone to talk to me? Nope. Well, a woman came by, dropped off an envelope, $3,000 in cash. Said if I delayed the job, there'd be more coming my way. I tell him to bring the envelope in, get a written statement, add it to my growing file. By now, I'm locking everything down, double-checking cameras, parking my truck where I can see every approach. Doesn't stop them. At 3 a.m., I hear a crash. Fencing knocked over, red paint sloshed across my lumber pile, big angry letters scrawled on the trailer. No private docks on our beach. But here's the kicker. They missed the backup camera I've hidden in a tree by the old dock. Footage shows 2 people in hoodies, one with a limp, coming from the HOA path. And wouldn't you know it, Karen looks straight into the lens, smirking like she just won the lottery. The next morning, I drive straight to the sheriff's office, hand over the video, the envelope of cash, contractor statements. The deputy lets out a low whistle. Well, damn. Looks like you got yourself a vandalism case and bribery. Both felonies. That day, my lawyer files a complaint with the county prosecutor, property damage, harassment, obstruction, and bribery, all documented. Karen doesn't know when to quit. She confuses silence for surrender. But this time, she's crossed a line. My legal background? 15 years of coastal law, and now it's personal. I meet my old attorney in Charleston, show him everything. You want to go scorched earth, he asks. No, I want to go legal. And fast. Within 24 hours, we file for an injunction, not just against Karen, but the entire HOA. Abuse of authority, fraudulent representation, obstruction. With every document, every video, every signed statement, we paint the whole crooked operation into a corner. The judge, old, gruff, not a fan of HOA games, slaps a restraining order on coastal Vista shores. They can't hold meetings, spend money, or enforce any rules. Karen finds out by courier, probably while sipping herbal tea and plotting her next move. For the first time since she stormed my property, she's not in control. And right on cue, the environmental department drops their permit suspension. Turns out every concerned citizen email came from Karen's home Wi-Fi. My guys come back, even the ones who bailed before. By sunset, we're building again, but I know it's not over. Karen's the kind who'll hire a fake consultant or a YouTube lawyer in flip-flops. So, I reach out to my old contacts at the National Park Service, send them everything. They flag the HOA's beach fences. Turns out, a chunk of the so-called private beach is actually federally protected public trust land. Then, out of nowhere, an anonymous email hits my inbox. PDF of an HOA meeting transcript, 6 years old. Karen, if we control access, we control the beach. Simple as that. I send it straight to the feds. Within days, black SUVs roll into the neighborhood. Agents from every agency you can name. They document violations, illegal fencing, misuse of funds, obstruction of public access. Karen tries to block a news crew, actually shoves a cameraman. Federal marshals cuff her right there on the sand. Fraud, obstruction, assault, falsification, misappropriation of funds. HOA board members start falling like dominoes. Treasurer, vice president, all in on the scam. The courtroom's packed. Local news running the story on a loop. The crazy HOA lady who tried to steal a beach. Evidence pours out. Illegal fees, fake nonprofits, residents testifying about threats and lies. Karen tries to spin it, calls herself a visionary. The judge isn't having it. 8 years, no parole for 4. Restitution from her hidden assets. HOA dissolved. Community put under federal receivership. Every account frozen. Every sign torn down. Neighbors who once called me a squatter leave pies on my truck. The guy who threatened to sue me over noise brings charcoal to the first cookout we throw after the verdict. Rebuilding the cabin takes all summer. Reclaimed wood, old pictures. Even a sign that reads, People's Pier, established 1943, reclaimed 2025. The place fills up with laughter, music, the sound of water hitting pilings. Kids ask what it is. I tell them it's history. And they bring their friends. Park Service offers to buy a piece of the lot for a historic access corridor, but I say no. I didn't fix it for profit. I did it to breathe again. That quote makes it into the paper, makes my neighbor Linda cry, but I mean it. So here's my question. After all that, what would you have done? Let the HOA win? Fought back? Where's the line between standing up for yourself and standing up for everyone? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your own stories about HOA drama or local justice gone wild. And tell me, where do you draw the line between community and control? If you made it this far, hit like, subscribe, and let's keep shining a light on the folks who think the rules don't apply to them. Because sometimes, the only way to reclaim what's yours is to show up, stay loud, and never back down.